The Amazing World of Biology by Weston. I'm a freshman attending Angelo State University. The TEK I will be covering in this video is TEK number 112.34, Biology. I want to start by covering some important materials. The most important material that I feel is necessary for this class is the microscope. We are going to be using the microscope, and it is very essential to the classroom, and we will use it often. We will learn the coarse and fine adjustment knobs and the proper way to insert and remove the slides. Next, I want to move on to creating an experiment. This is what I want to spend most of the video teaching you guys how to do. In my first semester of college, this was the single most stressed objective. Therefore, I want to prepare you all for what you will be encountering in the future. Observation. This step is where you look at whatever you are going to be doing the experiment on and come up with the question that you are going to answer with your experiment. Hypothesis. Creating a good hypothesis is the most important part of an experiment. The best way is to repeat the question in the hypothesis. For example, if your question is, why does skin get darker when you are in the sun for a long period of time? Your hypothesis would be, skin gets darker when you spend long periods of time in the sun because sunlight affects skin pigmentation. Next, you test your hypothesis with an experiment. For the same question, you could design an experiment by having 10 people of about the same skin tone volunteer. You would measure their starting skin tone and have 5 of them spend the day outside in the sun and have the other 5 stay inside for the same amount of time. At the end, you would measure their skin tone again and record any differences for the two groups. The next step is where you analyze your results. You take the results that you have come up with in your experiment and you look at them from a statistical standpoint. Let's say that your results showed that none of the subject that stayed inside had any change in skin tone, but showed that all of your subject that spent the day outside showed at least 2 shades of skin tone difference. You would record these numbers and maybe make a chart to show your classmates the results statistically. The next step is to figure out whether or not your hypothesis is supported. In this part of the experiment, you look at whether or not your hypothesis is supported. You do this by looking at the data you have collected from the experiment, and if the trend follows what you expected, then your hypothesis is supported, not proven. And if it does not, then your hypothesis is not supported. The final step is to report your results. Like I said, this is the final step of your experiment. In this step, you go through and write out all of these steps that you took during the experiment. Type out your question that was being asked, your hypothesis, how you performed the experiment, the results that you discovered, and whether or not your hypothesis was supported.